Hello, it's us, Clearing Waivers Podcast, coming at you one more time this week. We are one host down this week. Rance failed to join us this week. Get your shit together, man. What are you doing? He doesn't listen. What am I talking? He doesn't listen to us. We miss you, Rance. We'll see you next week maybe. But yeah, we got the usual crowd outside of Rance with Brian and Kitty and myself. We're going to talk a little Chiefs, little sports, maybe hopefully make you laugh a little bit this week. But yeah, we're going to kind of jump into it here with clearing the waivers. I kind of shortened up these theme songs. I figured it would be a good thing.
We're clearing the waivers.
Just, I mean, I think it's probably a good thing because we let everybody listen to it a little bit longer, the longer versions, and now we're just going to get right into it. So I think that'll benefit us, and maybe it'll be an hour and 43 minutes instead of 45 minutes. Now that we've lost all that time we gained by me explaining it, let's just get into it here. Chiefs, they had a hard-fought battle, went to L.A. to the Chargers and won 23-20 in overtime. Seemed like one of those games that where everything's a grind. I mean, nothing came easy from jump street to the end, but it did kind of remind me a lot of the Super Bowl against the 49ers. We kind of talked about pre-show that the 49ers and the Chargers kind of built the same. I mean, the defenses are pretty similar, and they always have a similar game plan than us. So it was very interesting to kind of see that win gotten. But yeah, it was kind of an all. But I guess let's start in the offense, Brian. What did you see out of that offense, in both discouraging and encouraging, I guess?
Well, it was just a lot of ugly. That had no rhythm to them, couldn't put a drive together to save their lives. They had penalties all day long, 11 penalties for 90 after we talked about them having 1 for 5 last week. They didn't turn the ball over, so that probably saved the game for them because I think if they turned the ball over, it probably not in the win column this week. And I think when we all got the bomb dropped on us right at the beginning that the rookie was going to start for him at quarterback, I mean, your ears kind of perk up and you think, well, it was just a last-minute deal. They weren't planning on it. Like they said, they probably didn't get reps all week in practice. So you'd think maybe he's not going to be in rhythm with the offense if Tyrod got the work with the team all week. That wasn't the case at all. Herbert slung it around like a maniac. They got the ball out of his hand quickly so they didn't have to worry about the pressure. I mean, he looked great, and I'm shocked that Anthony Lynn is talking this week like if Tyrod's ready, he's our guy, because what I watched last week scares the living shit out of me if he can do that week after week, because that team's been loaded all around the quarterback for the last 4 or 5 years and have been the real only serious contender in the division for the Chiefs. So you knew this game going in was going to be tough. When it went to the rookie, you thought, okay, maybe it won't be as tough as I thought. Well, it was a little tougher than I thought it was going to be, and it was quite ugly to watch. And I don't know about you, Josh, but it's not like I watch these games now in the regular season and stuff and feel like I'm like worried or anything like that about losing the game. I know the team's good enough to do anything they want to, even if they lose the game. It's just kind of like ugly to watch and kind of a bummer to watch. This offense is supposed to be so much fun to watch look so bad for over 3 quarters. We've seen them have bad first quarters, bad first half even, but we usually don't see them be bad that long. And then, my God, they flipped the switch and they just can fly up the field. Yep. It's like when they have their backs to the wall. It's when they have that last possession right before half. When they just let it loose and they're going, no huddle offense, they get yards in chunks. And it's crazy to me they don't break that out more often when they are clearly struggling. They still try to establish a run a little bit. And I wish after they looked bad for even half, I wish they kind of just would just let it all hang out and just start slinging it. But I think they're –
and I wonder how much of that is like game plan versus feeling the pressure and just rising to the occasion type of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, you add into the fact that this Chargers defense lost Derwin James for the year. I mean, that guy's a stud, and it's supposed to be their answer for covering Travis Kelce. And, we didn't really take advantage of that, I would say. I mean, Kelce had a nice day, but I thought he could have been a lot more dominant against that secondary. So it was kind of disappointing. And then we got saved by butt kicker, man. That guy is a stud. He basically on the day kicked 4 pressured 58 yarders because 2 of them didn't count, and you can't
One was
say,
53
well,
to be fair.
yeah, every one of those kicks as he was kicking it had the pressure of all the rest of them. It's not like they called the timeout and he just kicked a practice field goal. He banged home all those puppies right down the middle, and we're so lucky to have a reliable young boom leg kicker right in the heart of this window of competing, because my mind just kept going back on Sunday to, God damn it, I am so glad I'm not a Bears fan watching these fucking Chiefs, because they not only have to watch Mahomes, who they skipped the draft, they have to watch that we have this stud, huge-legged kicker. When they have gotten screwed by kickers, they can't find one to save their lives, and the Chiefs picked this guy up off the Carolina Panthers practice squad a few years ago.
The scrap heap.
I mean, incredible.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Bears fans having to watch Chiefs.
Yeah. Old butt kicker is just super handsome. He's a real handsome fella.
Yes, he is.
Real good, clean cut kid. But yeah, he's got a hell of a boot on him. I did see after the game, he was talking about how he was kind of getting pissed off because he thought that the icing and he thought that Lynn tried to ice him twice. He just gradually kept getting more and more pissed off. And I tell you what, you can't get in the head of somebody that just gets gradually more and more pissed off. You just might as well just let them go the first time, because it's only going to get more focused and more accurate as they go.
He's basically sending the word to the rest of the league: do not ice me, or I will come back twice as hard.
I mean, he just made he made 3 kicks over 53 yards in a row.
Yep.
Within like a minute and a half. Like, it's just, I'm this good. Go ahead, whatever you want. I'm gonna make.
I'll see him mess up and cause another false start just to get another 5 yards tacked onto it. Just be like,
he'll make
another
a
60,
63 yarder just for fun.
Just to spike it in your stupid face.
He told McAfee some wild stories when he went on with his show the next day about how he was basically they were comfortable with like 68 that day, I think.
Really?
I mean, that last kick looked like he could have cleared it.
And
he bombed it.
He was talking about this offseason. He's really been working on his distance, and they went to a high school field, and they've got like the equivalent of that baseball Respoto or whatever the hell that's called. They put a tracking device out there, and he kicked a kickoff 98 yards. It's just wild what kind of leg he's got. Because these 53 yarders, he's talking like that's just like easy swing for him. He's not like this is full blast. And that's a crazy concept to me.
There was that video floating around the internet in the offseason. I think he hit a 77 on the practice field.
That's a field goal.
It's not the same, but I've always wanted that. Like, those kickoffs seem to go 60, 70 yards every time, so I don't understand why they couldn't, in theory, get it through the uprights at that point. But
yeah, he doesn't need to. Well, he gets a longer run up too for the kickoff.
Yes, that's a good point.
But I think another thing too was, if you look at the defense, I thought the defense didn't play bad by any means. I thought Herbert just made some really good balls, and I came away impressed with L'Jarius Sneed. They threw him into the fire once again. He was on their best all day long, whether it's Keenan Allen or Mike Williams. He was thrown in the fire, and they tested him, and he only gave up 4 catches for 37 yards.
Got
second straight game with a pick.
Leads the league, baby.
I was impressed too. I thought Mike Dana stuck out a little bit. I saw his number, and he made a hell of an impressive play to get his first sack. The fullback tried to come out and chip him, and he just basically like bullied him and threw him to the side, and then he went and chased down Herbert for a sack. And that was a beautiful play, no matter who you are. But to have a guy that they didn't have to draft high that's actually contributing at the defensive end spot where they were kind of shallow. They had a couple of guys they liked, but after that it was a bunch of question marks. And to know that you got a low investment defensive end that they already have confidence in to play that much, I mean, that stuck out to me too.
Absolutely.
For me, I mean, that's watching it. It was one of they showed a lot of red zone on that game, and Mahomes, like you guys said, did not look great. Was struggling for the first half. Then all of a sudden he does that rollout in the third quarter and throws a 54-yard strike. I mean, just a perfect 50-yard bomb on the run to Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
So that's always there.
Yep.
That's the nicest part about right now being a Chiefs fan.
I agree.
When you know your quarterback, I'll just roll out and throw a 50-yard I'll just drop a dime on a rollout 50 yards.
No matter how bad he's looked all day, it takes one play.
It's still always there, and that's just a huge bonus as a Chiefs fan.
Yep.
It's just there. Hey, I suck. Yeah. Not anymore. I'll just drop this one on Tyreek Hill's hands. He's got it. Boom. Touchdown. Easy.
And they kind of did the same thing. That play reminded me of the Wasp play in the Super Bowl. Like, they had the tackles were getting beat, at least one of them every time Pat dropped back to pass.
Right.
What did I see? I want to see like 13 quarterback hurries or QB hits or something like that. He only got sacked one time. He's only been sacked twice this year. I don't understand that. He seemed to get pressure every time. But the key to that play is them moving that pocket. Him bootlegging out to the right and buying him the time for Tyreek to go deep. That might be the thing. Like, they could do that at any given moment, regardless of the game script, regardless of any of the pass rush. Those so far, that's the kind of play that Andy Reid has up his sleeve at any given moment.
Yeah,
you don't necessarily have to go. You don't have to necessarily go super deep on that play. You've got Kelsey out there as well on that same different shelf. He goes 20 yards out, and you get a 20-yard or a 50-yard pass. You get them both there. It's possible. Or if Mahomes needs to just run it for 5 yards, you just create space out there with Mahomes rolling out.
Yep.
I think Pro Football Focus had them charted for 44% of his dropbacks were pressures, and that's not a good sign. We need to get that cleaned up. Simile got called a couple times on some questionable holds.
Let's go to that. Let's talk about those overcome shit holding calls. The first one was on that final drive of regulation. One that I think is the Wiley hold would have given them 1st and 10 from the Chargers 10-yard line with 1 minute and 8 seconds left and 3 timeouts. They're getting in the end zone on that drive.
Yep.
100% of the time. The next one was a Pat scramble, 5-yard scramble on 3rd and 7, I believe. No, 2nd and 7. I'm an idiot. 2nd and 3, 5-yard scramble for a first down. It would have gotten them down to the Chargers 12 line with 19 seconds left and 2 timeouts. Nullified, pushed them back to the 27, and got 2nd and 13. So it's ridiculous that those plays were inhibiting the game. This game is toast. If either one of those calls is dropped or missed or whatever, the game's over. I mean, they're getting in the end zone with that much time and that many timeouts. So, I mean, that's the type of game. Those are the type of calls that the Chiefs 3 years ago weren't. They would have chalked it up, probably got backed up to outside of field goal range, chucked a Hail Mary, and it was over. So I think that's what makes this team special. It's kind of reminded me of the 14-15 Royals, where they just have that extra magic left in the tank at the right time that they can overcome. It always helps to have that talent.
And they've talked about this. If you watch games across the league, they've noticed that league-wide penalties as a whole are down this year, and they claim that there was an emphasis placed to the referees that the penalties need to be clear and obvious. There's no doubt in your mind that penalty happens if you're going to throw that flag, which should have been the rule the entire time. But I don't think this crew got that note, because those were not clear and obvious to me on a lot of those, and I had beef with some of those weak ass calls that, like you said, they may have had huge impact on the game. That beautiful back shoulder throw to Clyde, it was a huge chunk play that should be
25 yards.
That should be in both of their highlight reels. Doesn't count anymore because the referee blew it. So I had some problems with that there.
Sure would have helped me in DraftKings this week. That's for damn sure.
Nobody cares.
For the first time, I went and bought the big dogs and Patty Holmes, and he kind of took it away from me.
Nobody cares.
So you ruined the week for him. I got
my
it.
fault. Yeah, I need to not do that. Well, let's touch about real quick on the defense again. Brian, you talked a little bit about Justin Herbert's surprise start, and I do actually think that actually makes a big difference, because you prepare for Tyrod Taylor or Tyrod. Yes. That's official, right? Tyrod now.
I believe it's Tyrod.
Tyrod, who is a completely different animal from Justin Herbert. I mean, a mobile guy that's not necessarily accurate, not necessarily a pocket. He can throw the ball really well, but you're probably sending somebody to spy him on a regular basis as well. That's not the case for Justin Herbert. And then you walk
sneaky
in,
athlete.
sneaky athlete. True.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. Plus, you walk in without Colin Saunders. You walk in without Charvarius Ward. You lose Frank Clark and Antonio Hamilton early. It's kind of hard to point to, the defense. They just flat out refuse to tackle anybody in the first half, which end up is very concerning. But the fact that I'm not that worried about the defense at this point, I think it's something that they could actually rebound from, and you can point to 2 or 3 different things that was wrong and excusable, I think.
Yeah, I totally, like I said, I'm fine with the defensive performance. They had, like you said, a lot of key guys were out and a lot of young guys out there playing their second game in their career. From what they showed, I had no problem with them. You did not hear me mutter a bad word about the defense on Sunday. It was completely on the offense. That's all we've talked about since this machine started was the offense is going to be elite, going to be a top 3 offense throughout the year. We need the defense to be average to above average, and I think this defense has the ability to be a top 10-ish type defense. But if they're not going to be on any given Sunday, I'm not going to yell at them and say we lost because of your ass. Yep. They hold the team to 20-some points. That should be enough every week.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And we are also losing Breland, and we were losing Mike Pennell. We get Mike Pennell back this week.
Plus,
hopefully.
Both Hitchens and Damian Wilson went down with injury, or they were hurt, not injured.
Yeah, and you talked about, too, the spy, and that, as Craig Stout, I think, pointed out today, late in the game, they did bring in Willie Gay Jr. to play kind of a spy role. And so I'm guessing if we did see Taylor play a little more, maybe Willie Gay Jr. gets a little more snaps on defense on obvious pass downs. Like I said, they're both perfectly capable of picking up first down with their legs. So, I mean, having a guy like Willie Gay Jr. is what we've been talking about for a long time. I just need him to get up to speed fast because we got some mobile quarterbacks coming up that we're going to need some help with.
There's going to be a mobile quarterback that I would love for someone to spy regularly next week.
Yes.
But quickly go back to your point about having a top-tier defense. Last year, their pass defense was 7th best in DVOA. Shout out to the Football Outsiders. Now, going through these 2 weeks, they are 17th in defensive efficiency. I think once everybody gets back, they get healthy. I mean, you look at the secondary with Honey Badger, Thornhill, Charvarius, Breland, and then Snead in most of those base packages. And then you got a front push of Chris Jones, Passanio, Frank Clark. I love the makeup of that team. And if you add some kind of competent and good, decent, average even linebackers, I think it's going to be top 10 pretty easily, in my opinion. But let's put that to rest. Chiefs move on. They got this Monday night game coming up against the Baltimore Ravens. Going to be an absolute slugfest, must-watch TV. So everybody strap in Monday night. Enjoy your weekends and get ready to bring it on Monday. But let's get back out to the NFL landscape in general here. We got some week 2 standouts we kind of wanted to talk about. First off, we have to talk about the Armageddon of injuries. This was the weirdest first 10 minutes of that noon slate I have ever seen. I mean, it seemed like it was just boom, one after the other. Saquon, Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, Drew Lock, Cortland Sutton, Jimmy G, Devontae Adams, Byron Jones, Raheem Mostert, Tyler Taylor, Anthony Barr, Will Fuller, Solomon Thomas, Sammy Watkins. That's just a few of them. And it just seemed like there was about a 30-minute period where everybody was going down. So that was my number one, I guess, standout for this week.
My question in my own head was, is this because there was no preseason?
Yep.
Were these injuries going to happen if these guys played preseason? It would happen earlier, kind of spread out some more, or is it just a random? Because it's just a random occurrence that all these stars went out in the first 30 minutes on Sunday.
Yep.
It's real. Because some of the, especially like ACL tears, to me anymore feel like it's just a repetition injury where if you're so many bullets in the chamber and finally your knee's going to give out to these guys because they're just so strong and there's so much muscle and there's just, your knee is just going to if your knee's in bad shape, it's going to go out. You just don't know it until it goes out.
Yep.
And so stuff like that, I'm just curious if it was because there was no preseason, all of a sudden this game 2, these guys all of a sudden now are back in it, and then they all
got
get hurt.
enough game reps.
I don't know. It was bizarre, and it's disappointing at the very least, just because there's so many stars not playing now for a couple weeks, if not the full season.
Yeah. The fact that most of them are soft tissue, and the fact, I mean, it just seems like it's too big of a coincidence to chalk it up as a coincidence. It has to have something. I just don't know how much stock should be put into that, but it's not cool. That's for sure.
It is not cool at all.
No, well, luckily, I mean, Sammy Watkins took that nasty hit, which is kind of a fluke thing, so I'm not going to blame that. And it's hard to tell. Is that I think Frank Clark's was an illness, so I don't think he shouldn't be out too long. But it's just like most of these guys for the Chiefs did kind of miss that bullet, and hopefully that remains the same. So, Brian, I guess what's your week?
Well, we got to talk about the Cowboys and the Falcons. I mean,
oh my God,
what a disaster! I usually hate it when the talking heads on ESPN and stuff after the game they'll say, "Did Team X win the game or did Team Y lose the game?" And I usually hate that discussion so much, but in this instance, the Falcons 1,000% lost that game. The Cowboys were bad for most of the game. They were getting blown out in the first half. Impressive comeback. I'm going to give them that. But they're down 10 with 2 minutes left, and they have no timeouts left. And the win probability for the Falcons was 99.9%.
I was just looking that up. I knew it was high, but that's
99.9% win probability.
Oh, that's crazy.
And those idiots sat there and watched that onside kick just spin. They're just standing there watching it.
Yeah, there were 3 Falcons. There were 3 Falcons. All 3 of them just walking around it with the Cowboys near them.
Yeah, trying to box them out.
Why don't you just jump on it? You can get the ball before 10 yards, guys.
Unbelievable.
See, that I had to ask you guys in the chat. It was like, is there a new rule that I don't know about?
Right. No, exactly. That's what it looked like. It looked like the rule was no one can touch it before 10 yards.
Yeah.
The way they played that ball.
It's a shame Rance can't be here to defend how Dak made an impressive comeback win, but no.
Hate to see it.
Too bad. To see it. Falcons just shit them and filled them.
I mean, Cowboys had no business being in that game. They got destroyed every minute of that game and just shit it away in 30 seconds.
Against a horrendous Falcons defense.
Awful.
Like, it doesn't make any sense still, thinking back about it now. Like, there was no earthly reason that ball should have got past 10 yards with no one jumping on it by the Falcons. You were right there. It was spinning. Just jump on it. It wasn't traveling that fast to not be able to jump on it as a hands team member on the kickoff team to grab it. That is your ball. Go get it.
I don't understand how that happens.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I just want him and the rest of their fans to remember this game the next time they get kicked in the nuts by the Eagles or the Washington football team later this year. And they say, we got screwed. Well, you got this one last week. So
yeah. And maybe that's the payback from that blown OPI against the Rams the week before.
Right. True.
I mean, maybe
they did get screwed.
Football guards giving the karma back, but at the same time,
flopping.
Yep. I also had in here that the Packers put up 40+ again. Put up 42 this week. Last week was Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and this was Aaron Jones's. Man, he always has at least one of those games, probably every 8 games or so, where you're just like, holy shit. But the Packers are currently they have the best offensive efficiency in the NFL. And depending on, I think it said that Devontae Adams is still kind of up in the air as far as his short-term health, but that could be a huge loss. I mean,
that would be, definitely.
I
don't know how much Valdez-Scantling can hold the number 1 job at wide receiver for that team.
It's going to be a big deal.
It could be a real tough loss if Devontae's out for more than a couple games, if he's out at all.
So we'll see if they can keep that up. Anybody else got anything kind of stand out to them?
I think the Clearing Waivers podcast called it after the Colts lost last week. We said they're going to flip the script, and sure as shit they did.
Yep.
40 runs and 25 passes this week, and what they do? Dominate a team.
Absolutely smoke a
This
team.
is what you're supposed to do with Phillip
Yep.
Rivers. You run the ball, and then he's going to make plays. Not a whole lot of plays, but enough plays to win
Enough
you games.
plays.
And this is exactly what happened this week. So
Yep.
I'd like to thank the Indianapolis Colts coaching staff for listening. Because obviously they tuned in to hear us.
Yep,
So
I've got
we
that
also-
exact note written down.
We also called out
And then
the
we're up-
Vikings for being complete frauds, and
Rance was all over that. So
That was
big
me.
for him.
that was me, buddy.
Oh, shut up.
Rance called him before the year. You called him after game
Yeah, that's
one.
true. That's true.
Also-
I Rance
on,
correctly
And
reacted.
we've got Minshew mania. He's there. He almost got on the win at Tennessee. What?
Yeah.
Minshew, Gardner, what are you doing?
And James Robson, 9th in rushing right now.
Yeah, another. That's just somehow they're just
Undrafted
blowing it
rookie.
off.
We talked about them internally about when they traded away Fournette, and we said, what the hell's going on in Jacksonville? I mean, this team 2 years ago was about to go to the AFC Championship, and now they just gave away every good player they have. Well, guess what? They're pretty damn fun to watch this year, the no-name Jags. I
Maybe
mean,
they got rid of all the malcontents.
Maybe so. But I think even if they don't win a ton of games, even if they're not, in the market for 500 this year, I think you could probably bet on this team and get a lot of dirty backdoor covers with Minshew slinging it.
They could easily be the most exciting 5-win team you're going to see in a long time.
Because he slings
I think
it.
because he has a presence. Like when they show him when he's on red zone and the pocket starts collapsing, he is so good at just moving around in the pocket and avoiding a sack for the most part.
Yeah.
He's what I don't watch every game. I don't watch every play of Jacksonville, but what they show, he just has a presence, and that is something you can't teach a presence in the pocket.
Yep.
You either have it or you don't.
Absolutely.
And some guys don't have it, which all those first round and second round picks that just flame out in 3 games.
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. The list is long with those guys that they draft early. Cade McNown back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, but Minshew has it.
Yeah.
He just has a presence back there. He just knows how to avoid a sack and just make something out of nothing. So it's just fun to watch that guy.
I think it'd be fun for like the psychologists in a football department to like profile Gardner Minshew and just make a team of Gardner Minshews. Because you got football guys that love football. You're not going to lose with that team ever.
Find a bunch of linebackers that think like Gardner Minshew. There we go.
Mhm.
Question
Would
one,
you-
would you intentionally try to break your hand to get an extra hand of eligibility?
Yes, no.
That's so good.
Another standout, Ravens disposing of Houston quite easily,
Convincingly.
seemingly.
On the road too. Yeah.
And with a relatively quiet game from Lamar Jackson. He only had 258 total yards, 1 touchdown, and they still beat the socks off Texans.
Yeah, that Texans team, maybe Bob O'Brien, maybe Bill O'Brien, maybe have finally blown it.
It seems like I went through back the game script and started looking at play-by-play. It seemed like they were keeping up with them in the first half, and then they just make a costly error at the wrong time. And then they just couldn't quite Baltimore got out to a lead, and they can get to that run the clock out game script that they love and they're so good at. I mean, if you get down to the Ravens, it's going to be very hard, very, very hard to overcome that and get there.
Right.
So-
That is a team you don't want to fall behind against
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because how good they are running the ball, and they have Lamar Jackson and 3 really good running backs.
Yep.
And Mark
I mean,
Andrews is
their shitty running back is
right now.
their shitty running back is what, Gus Edwards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he had 2
He's the
rushes,
shit running back.
like 53 yards or something.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's a team you don't want to fall behind against.
Yep. Baltimore got 4 sacks and hit Deshaun Watson 13 times.
Yikes.
That's tough. So yeah, I guess I was going to go around and see feelings were right now. Baltimore's favored 3.5. Who you betting on this week? I'm going to guess that this is no one's best bet this week.
Not much. Now, to me, it's hard to bet against a home team on Monday night, even though it is no fans. 3.5, 3 points seems like the right number to me. Just home field advantage, whatever that is anymore.
Yeah.
This year, but I would never bet it. Gun to head, I'd go Baltimore, but there's no way I would bet this game.
Yeah. Brian, what do you think?
Josh, I'm going to have to talk about this one later.
Okay. I Spencer that. I also think that Baltimore actually wins this as well. This seems like one of those games that when they inevitably meet up at the AFC Championship, if the Ravens are not cowards and have enough fortitude to get there this year, it seems like when they go to that playoff matchup, this is the game they go back to be like, Baltimore did this, Baltimore did that earlier in the season, blah, blah, blah. And then the Chiefs win when it matters. So I take Baltimore in this to cover actually 3.5 points, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anybody got anything else stood out in week 2 before we close it out? Anybody want to talk Raiders and Saints?
Not really.
Seemed like everybody wanted to talk about that this morning.
Yeah. Drew Brees, that's 2 in a row. He looked kind of old. I'll just say that.
He is old.
They might have some trouble soon if this is who he is anymore.
I mean,
Michael Thomas being out hurts, obviously, but I mean, he's old. He's old. So he is old. So we'll see what happens.
He's 15th on the year in quarterback rating overall.
And he's never counted on a strong arm to begin with.
Right.
He's always played with the intermediate short passing game, and Michael Thomas is the best in the league at the intermediate game. So
he just does that. He always does those little passes just over the top of the linebackers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Huge game for him. He never goes. He's not beating safeties deep. He's over linebackers, and that's it.
And as soon as Rance declared how much David Carr sucks, he lit it up.
That was fun.
Throwing the ball to Darren Waller, you have a good game.
Quite good. It was shocking to me how little they covered Darren Waller, or even
he is a freak, man.
Well, they showed it when Demario Smith was guarding him.
Yeah.
Waller had a hell of a time getting open.
Uh-huh.
Then they started putting safeties and cornerbacks on him, and Waller got open all day.
Weird.
How is your middle linebacker, your best defender against the tight end? That makes no sense to me. But he sure as shit was.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Carr looked good. Waller's really looked good. Jacobs, he was kind of hurt last night, but still looked pretty damn well.
Yeah, he was getting that work on the sideline, but he still had a great game.
I thought that said a lot more about the Raiders than it did the Saints personally. No, I got to put them in the running for the AFC West like everybody wanted to do last year. But
but they're a solid team. They look a lot better than I thought they were going to.
Yep.
We see you. We see you, Oakland.
Yeah.
We see you,
That's
Vegas.
right. You're not hiding anymore.
That's right.
We're not ignoring you.
Well, with that, I guess we could probably move on. I don't have anything else, so let's get into the shenanigans for the week. We've got the three drops for the designated for assignment shenanigan. Let's just pick a random here. This one.
Yeah! It's time to play DFA.
DFA, very good. I went back and checked the standings from probably 2 months ago over that, just to see where we currently are. I think that Kitty is in the lead.
Seems wrong, but I'll take it.
I'm going to double check this here.
Who cares?
Rance is in the lead. He's got 11 wins. Kitty's at 10. I'm at 8. Let's see why Brian doesn't care, because he's in last with 5.
No, it's because nobody cares.
Okay. Well, I think it sounds like a sore loser thing to me. It is your question here, you sore loser.
So it's
going to be, it's going to be your time to shine. Maybe.
What's the order here?
Me and then Kitty. See if we can remember that.
Yeah. All right. So I shortened the list because there's only the 2 of you guessing tonight. We got 8 names. And this is all based on our hero this week, Harrison Butker. I'm going to ask you to name the 8 most accurate kickers of all time. And I'll give you a huge hint right now and tell you all 8 of these guys are on active rosters.
Wow.
Which shocked me. Because when you think of accuracy, you think of the longevity, like Morton Anderson, you think stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those guys are kind of bad at the end of their careers or whatever the reason is, and their numbers just fall off. Like Even Vinatieri, there was so long he was the
I'm
leader.
shocked that he's now not on that list.
He's not even in the top 10, I don't think.
Right.
So let's see, where did he's dropped all the way to 24th.
Really?
Sheesh.
Yep. He had a
Wow.
horrendous year and a half in Indy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For him to kick rocks after like week 4.
Yeah, he was very bad. So Josh, you got a name for me?
I do. Let's go with Gostkowski.
He is number 8 on this list. Talk about
Wow.
another guy that has fallen
He dropped
fast.
the hell
Well,
off.
he tried to blow it. I'm going to go with he's trying to blow it week 1 of this year.
Yep.
I'm going to go Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker is number 1 on the list. 90.91% in his
That's
career.
insane.
That's good.
Because they don't
Very
like.
good.
It's not like they hold back on his 50-yarders. They just
Right.
no, another one. Do it
Just
again.
mark- Go do it again.
Get out there.
Is there a minimum on this?
Like years played.
Just
Kicks
kicks made or
attempted.
whatever.
Well, there's not like any rookies or anything on here. All these guys have played multiple years, so I won't say there's a minimum, but they've at least played a few years in the league.
At least a few. Okay. How about Greg Zerline?
Greg
yeah,
Zuerlein is not on the list.
Good call. I was going to go with him.
This is gonna be not good.
I'm going to try Butker.
Butker
Yeah.
is number 2 on the list at 90.2%.
See, that's why I asked, because that just seems like
I took stinky cheese
That's
on him.
bullshit.
It was good. It wasn't a trap.
Let's go former kicker for the Chiefs, Ryan Suckup.
I thought about Suckup, but he is not in the top 8 on this.
I'm glad
Good
I'm going to
Lord,
be
I
out
thought
of
he
this quick.
I thought he'd be on there too.
Ryan Suckup is number 35 on the list, and Greg Zuerlein's 38. So not even close.
Guy for the Chargers, Badgley.
I don't have a Badgley on this list.
He might be too. He might not have enough kicks.
Martin Badgley or something like that.
I don't. Steve Badgley. I don't fucking know his name.
Fat Randy.
Greg.
I just know it's Badgley or Badgley is his last name. That's all I got.
I don't see him on this list.
I'm just out of names.
Yeah,
Only-
very.
No way he's still on.
If
I'm having
only-
trouble. Like,
If only Seabass was still playing, we'd have.
as soon as you said kicker, I was hoping you'd say like Seabass number 1.
I thought with the names I needed to give you that they were all active, because I knew if you were like my dumb brain, it would immediately go to all the old timer names.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the problem, because the only names I can think of are like Martin Gramatica and
That's also the other problem with no longer having kickers on your active roster in fantasy.
True in fantasy. Yep,
Just the greatest choice, the greatest fantasy choice of all time. Hey, and for you guys in a fantasy league with kickers, get rid of kickers and
Get out of
defense.
here.
It's stupid.
I'm gonna stop beating around the bush. I don't think he's in the league. You give me Akers.
David Akers. He was like 60 years old 20 years
60
ago.
old. Yep.
No, he is not on this list.
Maybe he's the Jamie Moyer of NFL.
Oh my God. Now you need to look up his age now that you're out of it.
Okay.
Dang
Will
it.
do.
Who is that? Oh, man. I feel like the guy that was kicking field goals last week for Philly was really good. Can't think of his name
What?
now.
Fuck you. David Akers is 45.
Okay.
Yeah, 60.
I was exaggerating.
60.
I cannot think of anyone's name. I am terrible at kicker names, obviously. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to pick Fat Randy. Actually, you know what?
But did he
Give me,
lay that for Stinky
Give me
Chiefs?
last year's. Give me fucking old Mike Nugent.
Now that's a good guess, but he is not in the top 8.
Ah, damn.
So you got two options used. So I'm going to give you a hint and say one of these guys is in the Bengals division.
I already got Tucker.
It's the only team he's played for in his 5 years.
Who is the Steelers kicker? It's got to be him, not the Browns kicker. That dude's gonna suck. He's a Browns kicker. Who is the Steelers kicker? It's probably the same guy that made all those field goals against the Chiefs in the playoffs. Josh, come on, help me out.
I was too drunk for that game.
James Harrison.
So was I, but I was not paying attention to the game itself.
Chad Ochocinco. He was probably kicking.
I think he's 1-for-1 on field goals, maybe at least in preseason.
OBJ is in the Bengals division.
It's just I can't think of the Steelers. I got nothing.
The other name I've got is that Woo guy.
Oh, the guy from Falcons.
Yeah,
Right?
I think he's on the Cowboys now.
Oh, Cowboys now?
Maybe.
Who was the guy? The Falcons kicker was dealing some shit last night. Well, the other day. Young Wei Hu or whatever?
Matt. Yeah.
Is that his name? Young Wei
Something
Hu?
like that.
I think it is.
I'm going to do him. Young Wei Hu.
Nope.
I didn't think it was right because you were just like laughing at us.
I just want to know what his real name is because there's no way that's it.
100% right. But I got to find out where is it. There it is. Falcons, Cowboys, kicking.
Well, is for the Steelers.
Boswell is the Steelers, and he was on this list at number 6.
Young Hoku.
Young Hoku's close.
Very close. Young Wei Hu. That's pretty close.
Number 3 kicker on this list is Josh Lambo.
Lambo, okay.
Number 4, Will Lutz for the Saints.
Oh, Lutz. Yeah.
Dan Bailey is on this list. Played for 2 different teams.
He played for the Cowboys.
Where is he now?
He's really good. He's Minnesota. He was great for the Cowboys for a long time.
And the number 7 names that I thought you guys would get. After we
Mason
talked about the Bears kickers.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have the number 7. They had the number 7 guy in their grasp, and they let him go. Robbie Gold.
Okay. Who was the Steelers? Who was Steelers guy? I wasn't.
Chris Boswell.
Boswell. Okay. Man. Josh,
Tough.
not gonna lie to you. Great job for me and you, not knowing kickers.
What a horseshit category.
That's a good question because it's something people very much could know, but then we also did not know anything about it.
Young Hoku is 6 for 6 this year.
See, get him on the list, Kaiser. Come on.
Him and Rodrigo Blankenship are at the top field goals made.
The Blankenship, the guy from Georgia with the glasses on.
Old Rex specs.
He hit the upright that first game. He hurt him a little bit, but it was a great game too.
Yeah, it does not tell me what the minimum is on like Pro Football Reference. It just says
It's got to be about 50 kicks, I would guess.
Yeah.
You could come back and ask me the same question in 10 seconds, and I would still not I wouldn't know half the answers.
That's fair.
We've muddied the waters too much, I think, at this point.
It looks like Butker's probably the youngest guy on this list. So maybe it's like 2 or 3 year minimum or something.
And is how old?
Huh?
How old's butt kicker? 25?
25.
25.
Just
I gotta feel like you
That'll
said,
do.
Vinatieri was really good, but I think those guys missed a lot more kicks early in their career.
Yeah, just tanked them.
Well, people didn't give a shit as much, I don't think, for some reason. Or they didn't practice as much. I don't know. It seems weird because it seemed like a lot. Like we said, these 10 guys are all active, or 8 guys are active.
Right.
Yeah. So get this,
There's
too.
something to that situation where they're all active. Kickers means so much more than it used somehow than it did before because they kick a lot more long field goals too.
Yep. Fat Randy is number 26, 2 spots behind Vinatieri. Fat Randy Bullock.
God, Randy Bullock.
A career 83.52%.
He's 5 of 6. 5 of 6 this year.
That one was that. He probably. I bet that one didn't mean that much. Probably. The one he missed.
He's got a cramp, guys.
Jesus. God, he drilled the kicks Thursday night against Cleveland. Just drilled them.
Yep.
This also makes me think we're all incredibly spoiled because there's so many guys that are active that are on the top 25.
Right.
So a lot of kickers putting asses in the seats. Is that what you're saying?
I'm
guess
saying
so.
we kind of take them for granted.
We're in
based
the
on
golden age of
Right.
kickers, and we don't even
It's-
care.
kickers from the 80s and
Basically,
90s sucked.
To me,
We're
it's
drunk probably
kind of
half
like
the time.
watching any outfield play defense now after watching Gordon and Locane man center field and left field for 3 straight years, and now I watch these guys, their balls drop in the outfield. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Where were you?
Catch the ball, you idiot!
It's so true.
Oh my, it's insane how upset I get now watching guys drop balls in the outfield after watching Kane and Gordon catch everything.
It's only 103 miles an hour off the bat at a line drive rate. Get on your fucking
Go
horses.
get it, idiot.
I mean, I already feel bad for the next quarterback for the Chiefs after Mahomes
Yes.
is gone.
Oh,
God,
boy.
this could be brutal.
Why can't you make that throw off your back foot 55 yards in the air?
I'm already. I watch other games already with like those rose-colored glasses on already. It's
This
I mean,
guy sucks.
Yep. So washed. Tom Brady is so washed.
Well, that's true.
He has to look at his targets. What an asshole.
Ugh,
Yep.
idiot.
So let's get on with the next one here. We got to keep trade cut. Brought it back.
Just keep trade cut, don't give it to you. It's Tuesday night, we're in the spot. Yeah, don't believe it, just watch.
Coming up with ideas for the keep trade cut this week. I kind of hit it to my wife and she came up with suggestions. So shout out to Mrs. Kaiser on this one. But we were coming up with booze and caffeine, which one we would like. And we were like, well, that's a perfect keep trade cut if we find another third one. So I did. And it's carbs. So we're going to trade, and we're going to cut one of each of the carbs, booze, and caffeine. Brian, you're the winner this week. So why don't you go ahead and start us off?
These all three are beautiful things. And
Yep.
it pains me to get rid of one, but I feel like I could train myself to cut out the caffeine. So I'm going to cut the caffeine and hope that I'm not the most miserable person to be around in the morning, but I probably will be without the caffeine, but I'm going to risk it because who cares? I'm trading the carbs. And as much as I love carbs, I really would be better off without them. So they'd be literally doing me a favor, taking these carbs away from me. And I'm going to trade that for some protein. I think I would love to be on like a caveman diet where I just eat meat and like meat that are on bones, especially like just give me all the ribs and I mean fish, shrimp. I just want to eat meat.
I'm about to start calling you Bryson DeChambeau. That guy.
It's an expensive diet to be on, I would think, because meat's not cheap, but
Yep.
meat is delicious.
Yep.
So I'm going to get up the carbs. Got to keep alcohol, though. I mean, beer and sports go hand to hand. It just feels weird if you're watching sports and you're not drinking alcohol. So I'm not going to give up my sports, so therefore, hand in hand, you're not taking my alcohol either.
Wasn't that one of the keep trade cuts earlier? You kept sports and got rid of like AC and something else. Wasn't that one of our keep
That
trade
sounds
cuts?
right.
You could only watch sports when it was like Nintendo NES graphics.
That's
Right. You
right.
kept that, but got rid of the AC because I want you my sports.
Yep.
Yep.
I like it.
I also love the logic. I struggle with it too, being like, I could probably being off carbs is good for me, and not being off booze is bad for me.
It's all about your happiness.
Yeah, that's right.
It's true.
Kitty,
Carbs
Kitty.
make you happy when you're eating them, and then you look in the mirror and you're like, why did I do that?
Well, I mean, I think you can make a case for all these things, but Kitty, what's your round?
For me, I actually don't drink any caffeine.
Oh, look at you.
Not, yeah, Slansky style right there. Little butt sniffing. That smells good. My hoity toity this.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I just never drank coffee, never did Coca-Cola, never those. I mean, the soda, like root beer doesn't have caffeine in it. Some other stuff doesn't have. The sodas I drink have no caffeine. So
no.
for me, that's an easy cut. But I'm with Kaiser. I got to keep the alcohol. I golf a lot.
Yeah.
hand in hand.
Golfing 18 holes sober, that just doesn't sound very much fun.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Especially if you have a bad 9 holes. First 9 are bad. I need alcohol to get me through that next 9.
I mean, you
Or
could
if
just stop.
Or if I'm doing really good in the first 9, I need the alcohol to keep calm my nerves in the next 9.
That's true.
Double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
I need the alcohol during my golf game.
You got to find that balance.
Yeah, there's no balance. It's just kind of get drunk while you play golf.
Yeah.
Let her rip.
That's
Okay.
basically the balance.
Deal. Okay.
And so I'm trading carbs for a personal chef. If I can't have carbs, I need someone to
Solid.
cook my meals for me.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know how to fucking cook carbless meals.
Just a meat
Everything
and
I
a
eat.
vegetable.
Everything I eat is full of carbs.
Yep.
Oh, we got cereal carbs. We got chips carbs. Everything's carbs. Everything is
Everything's
carbs.
carbs.
So now, I mean,
Yep.
even the alcohol, I've got to switch to a bunch of Trulies and White Claws. But I could
True.
do it. I could do that. It's still alcohol. And
They
liquor.
still have.
I'm just drinking a bunch of vodka now. No
We could
carbs.
just. we could just say those are the only carbs you're allowed.
I'll go
that's
enough.
assumed.
I'll go to the end of the road where it's just no carbs, alcohol. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I need that. But I have no idea what to eat without carbs.
Yeah.
Oh, pizza gone. Well, that's not cool.
But you just that's a solid trade because being able to just be like, whip something up for me, bud. Whip something up for me.
Yeah.
No carbs,
Make me
please.
something without carbs. I don't know what to do.
Use
I'm
alcohol if
lost.
you have to. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Throw wine in there. I'm lost.
I'm gonna roll. I too thought I could probably cut out caffeine. I do love coffee, but I just think I could probably just take a couple deep pulls off of Expo markers and I'd be in really good shape as far as the wakey. So I'm gonna cut caffeine as well. I'm actually going to keep carbs because
All right.
I mean, life without pizza and noodles and pasta and bread. I mean, bread is guys.
That's
Bread
good.
is so good.
Yeah.
I love bread. So I'm keeping carbs. I'm trading booze, and I'm gonna trade booze for like extra sugary fruit juice because you can still get a pretty slight buzz off of like the extra sugar.
You can't have the alcohol. Give me that fruit juice.
So you get me all hucked up at like a barbecue on some extra sweet apple juice or something. I can get real annoying, just as annoying as if I got too drunk. So
Wild.
You're just out there mainlining some NyQuil.
Yep.
Now
Get me
you're
on the dance floor with some sugary feet, and boy, it gets real loose out there.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm just thinking about the now you mentioned carbs. Like, I'm gonna eat lettuce wraps the rest of my life.
Yeah.
God,
Every sandwich you've
Sounds-
ever eaten in your life is now wrapped in lettuce.
I really do like some bread.
Or you just, like Brian said, just shove meat on your face and just hope it makes it in somewhere.
That's true.
It is super annoying you to try to eat burgers and stuff without
Yep.
buns.
Yeah.
Plus, anybody who's ever done that, I just immediately judge. Like, if you're out to eat with somebody and, like, I'll have a burger with no bun, it's like, I hate you. I hate you so much.
You're like doing the you bite your tongue. You don't want to, but you are.
You're not saying anything loud, but in your head, you're like, who invited the asshole?
That's kind of ridiculous.
How dare they
Turns
try
out
to
it's-
better themselves?
Right.
How dare they? How dare they try to better themselves in front of me?
We're all going to die. I mean,
You
you
do
might as
that
well
shit
speed it up,
inside.
guy.
You do that inside your own house,
Yeah.
not in front of me.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Beyond.
Exactly. Pete Weber wouldn't do that to me.
If Pete Weber wouldn't do it to you, then why would you ever do anything? That's
Exactly.
what I always say. Let's move on to the waiver wire. Seamless edit there. Seamless. Got it in rhythm and everything.
Oh yeah.
Sounded good to me.
Uh-huh. So we got the waiver wire this week. Let's go back to the poll. Our favorite books. Probably our least voted for draft
What?
so far. So the Sink Pissers need to, I mean, it really It probably could have. I did make the comment last week. We're going to lose a lot of listeners this weekend. Ding. The good calls just keep rolling for me.
We just lost some voters, not some listeners.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you're confident in that. But our favorite books draft, I actually won. Me and Rance tied, and since Rance is not here once again
Oh,
to
Brance!
claim a first pick,
Dang it!
he is out once again. So it'll be me, and then I believe you both tied as well.
All right, now I had the
When
first pick.
we only have
right?
6 votes. A lot of ties can happen.
I was first, wasn't I?
You
Awesome.
picked first, so you'll be going. Well, Brian picked first
I
last
picked
week,
first.
so
you
you'll
did?
be going second, and then Brian will be going third.
Okay.
This week, we need everybody to open your minds a little bit. This is a little bit out there, but we're going to draft the things that we can either make reappear that may have once existed and they left us. We can bring them back, or we can make anything disappear. So it could kind of go a lot of different directions here. I'm going to start off first with my pick, and it's going to be something I'm going to bring back. We used to have really good episodes of The Office, the greatest show ever on TV. So I'm going to make reappear good episodes of The Office on our TVs. You are welcome, the world.
Does that mean there were bad episodes?
I mean, depending on who you ask.
I quit watching the show.
I did too.
I'll say that.
Everybody stopped watching.
So I'm kind
after
of guessing
Carell
that
left.
those all Nard Dog as the boss episodes probably weren't the best.
Those are bad, but there were Robert California, James Spader, that were super underrated. So I'd say go check those out because he was a great character in himself. But yeah, when Nard Dog started, it was pretty shitty. He got annoying real fast. But I mean, since I'm bringing back good episodes of The Office, it doesn't
There you
matter.
go.
Don't worry about it.
The legend continues.
I don't hate it.
Very nice. You got a bunch of episodes now. You
Mm-hmm. Shout out Peacock. You gotta start. Yeah,
Guys,
I need to sign up for Peacock real soon.
get on that, Peacock. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Make these episodes.
Kitty, you're up.
I want to make something disappear. That's people that don't like me.
Well, I
You're all
guess I'm
gone.
out.
You are all gone.
Guess I'm out.
I mean, it might be a Thanos move right there.
Yeah. Whoa.
50% of the population
You
out.
leave the Marvel references to me, sir.
No, I can use them. Just because I hate the franchise doesn't mean I can't use a Marvel reference.
Kind of cocky of you to say only 50% of the population.
That's true.
Well, I should say 50% of the population is gone. People that have met me way higher than that don't like me.
Okay.
Well,
People
got you.
people that have met me that don't like me, probably 90% gone.
yeah.
That's perfect for me. They're all gone. Now I just people that like me hanging around. Cool. Good times.
That's just the end game of you just being just liked by everybody on Earth.
Yeah,
that feels really cool for me.
you would
That's
be
not
super popular if you didn't have
Feels
any haters.
really good. Feels really good to me. That would be.
You
let's
do
let
whatever
go.
you want, or those people are just gone,
Just go.
wiped away.
If there'd be no one ripping on my Facebook posts or ripping on my Twitter fucking posts, I mean, it'd be great. You like me? There we go.
That's not bad. Not bad logic at all. Brian.
He's got the real life block button.
That's right.
I am also going to make something reappear. I'm going to bring back NCAA football, the video game,
There
the
you
greatest
go.
video game ever made. I hate the O'Bannon brothers for going to court and making that video game stop being produced. And so we got to do whatever you do to get these players paid so we can bring back that game. I don't care what it takes.
Yes.
Just give me NCAA football back.
Don't disparage the O'Bannon brothers. Disparage the people that didn't pay them.
No,
Well,
I don't care.
well, they can all. You can disparage all of them.
O'Bannon brothers
As
get the game.
as an anti-billionaire, I'm gonna side with the O'Bannon brothers.
They're-
And and everybody who's ever played that game slowly dissolves.
Yeah, they're all gone now. Everyone's going away again. And then they liked me before. They just get a new information. Gone.
Done. Every time Kitty talks, more people disappear. Brian, kick off round 2.
All
That's
right.
a good thing.
I'm going disappear this time, and I am disappearing forever. Tom Shane commercials. I
Oh.
hate that motherfucker so much. It drives me insane when his commercials come on the radio. I slam the button to change the channel because his stupid voice is the worst. He just mocked me the time he made the commercial that said, you know what? People ask me why I speak in my own commercials. And I'm like, they're telling you to shut up and stop doing it, Tom Shane. Listen to them. You are the worst. I don't know. If you support Tom Shane's business at all, you're dead to me because you're keeping this person on my radio. Tom Shane, disappear now.
There goes the Tom Shane sponsorship.
No, Josh, that ain't ever happening.
Never say never.
No.
We could say never now. That door's closed. I just would love to get to the point where we get to a point where we don't have any sponsors and then Tom Shane pipes up. It's like, I would love to sponsor the Claymores podcast. Only one catch. You have to fire Brian Kaiser.
Done.
Done deal, Tom Shane. Where do I sign?
And I also like the fact that we're not doing anything to better the world in this draft. We could do a lot of things disappearing. That's not our style. We're looking out for number ones here.
I think our first 2 picks are pretty solid in benefiting the world. Kitty's not at all.
Mine
Just
is.
getting rid of them.
Nah.
That benefit. Trust me. People that don't like me, we don't need them.
We don't need them.
They're not doing anything good.
I like it.
Well, let's hit us with your second one.
I'm going to go with Geico commercials. The peer.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really need to hear Adina Menzel say taxidermy 85 times every fucking weekend?
It's been a long time since there's been a commercial like universally hated.
That is awful.
It's very bad.
Yeah. Are you that? Is this some sort of supposed to be a meta joke about Travolta mispronouncing your name at the Oscars? Because if it is, you've done it terribly wrong. You didn't completely go wrong. You didn't go completely this ridiculous phrase. You mispronounced one syllable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a taxidermy. That's
you just made up a different word. That's a completely
not a fucking thing. It's how would you fucking write down taxidermy? How fucking stupid are you?
Taxidermy.
If it was taxidermy, if she had said taxidermy,
that's what it is. That's the joke.
No, she says. I thought.
Love it.
I have no idea.
I blew my mind. You just blew my mind.
Do you want to change your pick? You still hate it.
That commercial still sucks.
I love it.
Kitty finally got the joke of it, and he still.
It still sucks.
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy? His whole rant was based around a made-up word that he just heard wrong.
We've got the title of the show.
They really blew that one.
This is why everybody needs to watch our podcast as well as listen to it, because you can see you can see Kitty's brain melting in real time.
Because the fact that she says I wrote it down wrong is the thing that is blowing my mind more. She wrote down tax attorney as taxidermy. That's even dumber.
Yeah. Yep.
He's keeping it hate. He
still hates it.
Fuck you, Geico.
Calm down there, Yuli Guriel.
Geico's out of my life. Done.
I just feel like
gone.
Yep. Geico not coming to a Clearing Waivers podcast near you. That damn lizard is not going to be crawling across that screen anytime soon.
Fucking murder that little gecko.
Uh, I'm going to go next. I'm going to make something disappear as well. I'm going to make sweet gum tree gum balls disappear
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
Those
Those
are the
prickly
worst.
little bastards are the cause of so many rolled ankles, and they are such a huge pain in the ass in the fall. I'm not looking forward to them at all. And to be fair, I'm just getting rid of the gum balls because the trees are beautiful, especially in the fall. They get all changed and they look really good, but those gum
Not that
balls can
beautiful.
go straight to hell.
I just get rid of the whole damn tree. There's a lot of other pretty trees that go to its place.
That's true.
Just get 'em out.
I see something that you can get an arborist to come inject your tree in the exact right time, and it'll wipe out all those gumballs before they even come out.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. I'm gonna guess it's not super cheap.
That's a real
Probably
thing.
not.
Yes. Yep.
Like you give it a flu shot, basically.
Basically. Yep.
Wow.
And apparently those gumballs, they have seeds in them that birds and squirrels eat, so you're knocking out a bunch of the bird and squirrel population that are around your house at the same
Well,
time.
that's good too.
Yep.
That's a
Win,
double
win,
win.
win.
Pushing a stroller up a street that's got those all over the place is a nightmare
Awful.
because they block your view too. So you may not see them
Yes.
when you're walking and you step
that.
on them.
Get those big ass wheels, no strollers.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
It's like walking through a minefield.
No,
Pretty
it's
sure
terrible.
Never
That
walked through a
sounds- that
minefield.
It sounds awful.
Mhm.
Just walking through the parking lot when they have them all over the ground is a
Yep.
nightmare.
Any sidewalk that has
And
them
imagine
is,
pushing something over top of all those all the time.
Mhm.
That sounds worse.
That's a good pick.
Very much
My-
so.
I'm gonna bring back Pepsi Blue. You remember that stuff? That stuff was delicious.
Was it?
Twas.
I remember it. I don't know if it's worth bringing back.
They came instead of those 20-ounce bottles, they only came in like 30 ounces. So it was like you can inject yourself with that blue poison even more so.
You're going to take that over Surge, huh?
Yep. Surge is back, baby. It's already here.
What is?
It's
I haven't seen any
hard
Surge.
in pounders.
That makes
It's
sense.
in pounders form.
They only come in pounders, I believe.
The best way to
Yeah.
bring back Surge, pounders.
Surge was a lifestyle.
Ain't nobody drinking 12 ounces of Surge in one sitting. They need at least 16s. Give me Pepsi Blue. I'm not going to win any votes on Pepsi
I
Blue,
don't
but I
remember
do not care.
Pepsi. I don't remember Pepsi
It
Blue.
was gross. Tastes like cough syrup almost.
That's probably fair. It's probably not far off of Baja Blast. In fact, now that I think of it, it's probably very close. Yeah.
I mean, I'd much rather have like a Gatorade or something.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Can't help you out.
Gatorade's too healthy for you if you're living that Pepsi Blue life.
You're in that Pepsi Blue.
That's one of the biggest shams that's been going on for years is Gatorade trying to pass itself off as healthy. There's
Oh,
like
yeah. Sugar is all hell.
40 grams of sugar in a bottle of Gatorade.
If you cut out carbs, you ain't getting Gatorade anymore.
No.
Kitty.
All right. I'm going to go to my favorite restaurant. I'm going to reappear something. It's a Taco Bell volcano burrito.
Yeah.
I saw a lot
Had
of
that.
people getting real worked up about the Taco Bell recent.
Oh, there was a lot of stuff got kicked out, and
Mhm.
a lot of great stuff got kicked out. I believe. I thought they
Mexican
said
pizza's out.
quesadillas did. Mexican pizza. That
They ran their course.
I never understood the appeal of it, because really you should just make that in a burrito form, and it'd been fantastic.
Or a
You
cheesy
didn't need the
gordita
shells.
crunch.
The CGC is the greatest thing they ever created.
Yeah.
That's still
Back
there.
to volcano
Luckily,
burritos because I am very interested.
That volcano
I
burrito was
completely
amazing.
agree with it. Yes. Very
It was
good.
so good.
Yep.
They had that.
Never you
was-
never got one outside of 2 a.m. drunk runs.
Like there was some.
Oh, Kitty would.
Kitty
I
would?
just made my own there when I was working there. Still, I was working there when they had the volcano burrito.
Mm.
So I had lots of volcano burritos in my day.
He didn't need to be drunk at 2 a.m.
I just needed to be working at 11 a.m. to get a volcano burrito.
10:30 opening shift. Kitty's hoofing down volcano burritos.
Exactly. Oh, so good.
That sauce is probably the only thing that really like hits my tum tum after like 10 minutes. There's not
He was-
that many
hey.
like foods that'll do.
Ran from 09 to 13. Apparently, that doesn't sound right.
I
Not sure if there's
hammered a lot of those.
Not
in
sure if there's
Lawrenceburg.
Taco Bell wikis on the up and up.
You can't trust it. Anybody can put anything on there.
That's right.
Wow.
People that hate you been editing it.
Yep.
Meat, rice, crunchy red sticks, lava sauce. That lava sauce. They need to
Lava
bring that
sauce.
back. Whatever
That's
whatever
where
was
it's
in
at.
that was nails.
I think it might kill me now.
It's a chance. That's another no carb meal.
Oh, my heart hurts just thinking about that. Brian, 3rd and 4th pick.
Okay, I want to end one of the most tired and annoying debates that reappear year after year after year, and I am going to reappear prime MJ, and I'm dropping him right into the NBA
Oh,
so that
good.
we can finally see MJ versus LeBron, and
we
let's
can
see
finally watch LeBron dominate. I get it. That's smart. You're thinking. You're thinking.
you see where I'm going here. This argument
I'd love
gets
to watch
dumber
this.
and dumber by the year.
I'd love to watch that. That'd be amazing.
Because LeBron's resume just keeps growing year by year.
True. It does.
I'm not going to argue. You're not going to drag me into this argument I said is tired and needs to go away. I just want to watch it and enjoy it.
And see
Yeah.
who wins. There
And
you
we
go.
don't have
And
to
just
talk
end
about
it.
simulated rosters and asking the 95 Bulls team who wins and blah.
And finally end it once and for all. I agree.
Yeah. So I'm reappearing
Great
Brian MJ.
It's a great pull.
Like it. Yep.
No, now I got to disappear something. And I'm happy to disappear those asshole umpires behind the plate. And I'm
Oh,
going
God.
robo-umps. You
Yep.
can still put those putts behind the plate and they can buzz and they can signal if it's strike or not. But I don't want your interpretation of the strike zone anymore. I don't want
Yep.
any more of that. I sent you guys a picture of that asshole umpire that was crouching between the batter and
Oh, he was so
Yeah.
far over. He was so far off the plate.
how in the hell can he see the plate? And how can the people that judge these guys and grade these guys, how can they watch him do that day after day and say, hey, dumbass, you can't see the outside of the plate when you set up like that?
No,
Mhm.
it's ridiculous. I think I'm a little. I think the box they throw up on screen needs some work still.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like.
think
the
they're all
three-
using a different system.
I like
'Cause
the
I think-
3D thing that ESPN, like Sunday Night Baseball,
Yes.
throws up. I like that a
Yes,
lot.
that's really good. I think they have because, like, I think the box that they throw up a lot of times that just Fox Sports regionals do.
Yes.
I think it's the same for every player, which
Yeah.
that's not
Yep.
good.
Not how it goes.
Guys,
Yep.
some guys aren't. It's not the same for Aaron Judge and Altuve. Yet the box, I don't think changes for those two guys.
Mhm.
Right.
So-
And I think with baseball, a guy goes up there and he looks the same in the box every time, a guy after guy after guy. You can set up these strike zones
Yes.
well in
definitely.
advance. So
Yeah.
100%.
so
Yeah.
that a player can't complain and say, hey, my strike zone versus
It's
that
different,
guy, blah,
yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And it's
Right.
like, nope, we set this up all at the beginning of the year based on the same criteria for everyone. And so, hey, this is your strike zone, so you better get used to it. You know what I mean? It's not like
Mm,
you don't have to deal with that asshole the next night that gives them 4 inches off the plate as a strike. I mean,
Yeah.
a player can even go in there and study their own strike zone and say, okay, that pitch was a strike for me. That pitch is going to be a
Right.
strike for me tomorrow. It's going to be a strike for me next week. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They can study themselves and say, hey, in my mind, I can program myself to know what my strike zone is instead of being completely arbitrary. It seems like on
You're
the
not
edges.
you're not getting the. Oh, this guy's a veteran pitcher, so he gets more of an outside
Right.
corner.
right.
No, he does not
100%.
get an outside corner. It's a strike's a strike.
100%.
Get it together.
Yeah, because
And
I
you
also
can't tell me that the technology at Topgolf that can tell me where my ball goes when there's
Exactly.
like dozens of bays going on at the same time. You can't tell me it's not accurate. I get it, but there's got to be some way that you can accurately depict a strike zone, put a microchip in a ball, do whatever you need to do to actually make this work. I refuse to believe that in a billion-dollar industry like baseball, they can't figure out a good way to do this. It's unacceptable at this point.
And the people that say
Yes.
the error is part of the game can shut the hell up. These errors cost games to people. They
Yeah, and it's
cost
just-
You
games.
know?
It's like just a bad strike three call. It's just like the guy can't swing a bat at a pitch that's off the plate by 4 inches. Like,
Right.
Yep.
the guy's got a good eye. He's not going to swing at that because he knows it's a ball, and all of a sudden it's a strike 3.
Right.
Come on, that's bullshit.
Yep.
That's
like it.
off my soapbox.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
I love that. That's a
got
great
heroes
soapbox. I
like-
think you should. I will. When you're on that soapbox, I'm going to slide another soapbox under you to get you on 2 soapboxes because I love that fucking.
I love it.
I hate that shit. Umpires, hoping umpires that have their own fucking zones all day is the worst.
Yep. Very nice. Brian's done, right?
Yep.
Back to Kitty.
That was his last pick. Yeah, I'm going to be go a little political here. I'm going to reappear Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Okay.
Okay. Then I can get back on Twitter now.
I just feel like we are about to descend into madness here in the next 2 months. And it'd be so much better if I could just have her reappear, not descend into madness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're already there, man.
I
Don't
know
ever
we're
say
already
that.
there, but
Because
God.
they can.
it seems to get worse and worse every day for me.
Yep.
And so just I could bring her back.
If
Fair.
you want
Another-
politics, go to the
Another
Heartland
6
Pod.
months.
We are not a politics podcast.
I'm bringing Heartland Pod into the Cloning
This
Waivers
is-
podcast
this
for
is
this one
purely-
pick alone.
This is purely a tolerance pick because we're just over the nonsense and the fucking bickering. I'm done with it.
Exactly.
Politics
could have brought
aside,
back
that is
Jesus.
so
There you go.
annoying. Yeah.
I'm not gonna bring back. What are you gonna do? Walk on water again? Fuck him.
Big whoop,
Give me
right?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I don't mean to, I don't mean to get political with my final pick, but I'm making property taxes disappear. That is the biggest load of horse shit. Property taxes, you have to pay to own your shit after you've already paid for it, and you've also
Own your
paid
shit.
sales tax on it. You have to pay to own your shit now. It's absurd. We pay plenty of taxes every year. These politicians need to take a back seat, and they need to take a pay cut and start getting paid for what they actually do, which is dick.
All right.
So go ahead, get property taxes
Opposite
out
of-
of my life.
opposite
You
of
can
pros.
use your yeah.
Opposite of progress, got to be Congress. Yeah,
Yep. I sounded real. I got real Swanson-y on us right there.
I loved it. I love it.
It
Keep
just-
going, Josh. Sorry.
the thought behind property taxes, the theory behind it, in and of itself, it's a principle, and it is awful. It is ridiculous on all sides.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
mean, you can make some sense to income taxes
Yes.
to a certain
Oh,
extent,
income
but
makes sense.
property
Sales
taxes
tax.
is a racket.
Yep. And that's coming from a guy who just recently had to license his dog because the city I live in requires it. $12 a year, guys. Every year you own a dog. $12 a year.
It's bullshit.
$12 a year. It's funny.
Josh will become like a sovereign citizen or whatever they're called.
See me on live PD
yeah, he's
and
gonna-
be like,
he's gonna try
I
to
know my rights. I
get
know
off
my
the grid."
rights. I'm a sovereign citizen. Do you know
You
what
got no
that means?
authority over me.
Article 4A, blah, yeah. Oh.
What is Josh is going to
RIP
be
live
off the
PD.
grid?
Dude, it is becoming way too attractive. Off-grid life is becoming way too attractive lately.
Yep. True.
Ugh.
Oh, there you go. You should have picked that for your disappear. Me off the grid.
Be off the grid. There's the honorable mention for the week. Can't have a podcast if you're off the grid, Kitty. Everybody knows that.
I think you still can.
It's called being a preacher.
Just a street preacher.
Yeah. Start a cult.
Let's hit the speaker circle in Columbia tomorrow. Here we come. Can't touch me. I'm a sovereign citizen.
That's right.
Let's get to the best bet for the week. Hey, it's best bet. There's your theme song.
Short one.
Last week, boys. 4 for 4 on our picks.
Free money.
Well done. We are 6 for 8 in our first 2 weeks of NFL action.
Wow.
So round of applause
Oh,
for the Cloning Waivers podcast.
I'd like to
It's a profit.
apologize for my first pick on week 1. That's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
They can't all be winners, can they?
I mean, the Eagles got it. I mean, it's going to happen, but not ever again, Philly. You're off. You're dead to me. Brian has not lost a bet, so he's going to lead us off here. What's your best bet for the week? You said you kind of hinted at it. Are you going for it?
Yep, I am going
Yeah.
for it, Josh. Give me those Chiefs plus 3.5 on the road at the Ravens. Ravens have looked like world beaters for the first 2 weeks. We've seen this matchup play out a few times before, and Warren Sharp put out a fun little stat the other day that as an underdog, Mahomes was 5-0-1 against the spread, and he's won 4 out of 6 outright. It's a short career, small sample size, but it goes to show you that Mahomes usually steps up when he's counted out, and we've seen this team with Mahomes and Reed beat the Ravens. I wouldn't say handily, but when they played them early in the year last year, they were whooping them pretty bad in the beginning.
I'd say
of the game.
handily because that was some trash there at the end of the game.
They put on a great performance. They came out strong last year. The Chiefs are basically the same team as last year, and they're pretty much healthy for all their major positions. This is a game I think both these teams have circled for a long, long time, especially when they knew that the playoffs were expanding and only one team was getting that first round bye. They know how big this game is because it's probably going to come down between these two teams. And so this game actually may count for 2 games.
Yep.
When you talk about ties and all that good stuff. So I think they're both have been game planning for this game probably for multiple weeks heading up to this. And so they're both going to bring their A plays, I think. And I think the Chiefs may not win this game. You may see it won by a Tucker field goal at the end of this game. And if you can get that hook at 3.5, I think you got to jump all over it. I don't think I just can't see Mahomes getting beat badly. I could see him getting stolen a game at the end, but I don't see it being decided before that.
Yeah.
So give me the odds that they're either going to be winning that at the end or they get kicked, devastating
Or
kick.
cover 3.5. Yeah,
That's right.
that's logic's there. And you said they are both better teams there since the last time they played. That's 100% true. They've only gotten better. I mean, with the additions they both made in the offseason. It's Calais Campbell he's a monster right now.
Yes,
and
he is.
considering he fell off the last 2 years, is just wild that he goes to Baltimore and maybe he's just a pure pass rusher now, and that's just what he does the best. But man, it's going to be tough. It's
He's
100%
scary.
going to be tough. Yep.
He's a scary dude.
Let's go, Kitty. Kitty, I'm going to cede the floor to you. What's your best bet for the week?
Appreciate it. And we've already talked about how awesome Gardner Minshew is.
Yeah.
Jags -3 at home against Miami? How do you not give me the Jags? How do you not give me Gardner Minshew -3 at home against Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins? Here it is. That's it. I don't really say anything else. I mean, Minshew has been ridiculous 2 weeks. Give me Minshew -3 at home Thursday night.
It's almost like clockwork there. About 2:30, Kitty at 2:30 will send a Gardner Minshew dime tweet in the group chat.
The witching hour.
I spent $100 on him last year in fantasy prison dollars,
for
and
Fab.
it's paid off so well.
Yes, it has.
Well, Rance isn't here this week, but he wanted me to put on the record. He is 2-0, just like Brian is, so he is not lost. But he wanted me to input his best bet. He's got Cincinnati covering the 6 points that currently Philly is being given. Which, I mean, why the hell wouldn't you take that? That is one of those obvious picks. What has Philly shown you to get 6 points?
Exactly. Yeah.
They have the worst offense in football right now.
Yeah, my second pick was on the similar lines, but not the same team. But I don't want to say anything. Well, Josh, go first before I say anything about that next. Don't want to blow your pick.
My pick, you're not going to. My pick is somehow Green Bay is getting 3 points against the Saints right now. So give me Green Bay +3. It's in New Orleans. I mean, the Saints just lost to the Raiders.
He just got carved up by David Carr.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, absolutely a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be a hell of a game. I'd say sprinkle that over. I was going to look at that actually too.
Good point.
Right.
There are some really tasty matchups this week.
51.5 for that over. So give me the Packers +3 and then sprinkle that over as well, I think.
Yeah.
Is Michael Thomas going to play or not?
Still up in the air, but
Okay.
I mean, Green Bay is averaging 42.5 points.
Green Bay's going to score points. Like, I mean, the Raiders went up and down the field on the Saints, so yeah, you'd
Yep.
think the Packers can too.
That'll be a barn burner. I don't know, and it's in New Orleans, so it's in a dome, so there's no
Right.
way to worry about as well. So give me
Yeah.
Green Bay +3 versus the Saints.
Yeah, I like that.
Like
My other pick that I thought was weird was Washington +7 at Cleveland. Like Cleveland gets 7 point or Cleveland laying 7. I don't think Washington's any good, but I don't think Cleveland's good either.
Yeah.
Like 7 just seems like a lot of points for a Cleveland team.
Yep. True.
yeah,
I wouldn't.
fair.
I mean, I'm not. What do I know? But it seems
That's not your
ridiculous
best bet, but I mean,
No, but it's not. But it seems like
really
a
good bet.
Throwing it out there.
ridiculous to me. Seems ridiculous to me that they would get. I'm surprised you didn't go back on your Jets there, Kaiser.
I know. I got to
Your
stop
best-
beating up on the Jets. I think the Vegas finally adjusted it, and I think it's
Well, yeah, they won
10
what? They're
10
10
and a half,
at
10 and a
Indianapolis.
half.
At Indy. Yeah. So yeah, that's a tough one.
Certainly adjusted appropriately. It
that
opened
one
at
at
7.
least makes sense to me. Like the last 2 weeks just didn't
Right.
make any freaking sense to me.
Double digits is tough to bet against
Yes.
Yep.
or bet with, or if you're trying to lay 10.5 in an NFL game and stuff.
And I could just see Phil Rivers throwing that devastating pick to blow the cover in the
Mhm.
fourth quarter.
They still
Right,
pull
they
off the
just
win, but he still
Randomly throwing the ball for no reason. That's what they would do. That's what he would do. He'd call an audible, throw the ball.
Worst day ever.
My back pick was 2.5 against those frauds, the Vikings,
The who
Which
against
one?
the Vikings?
the Titans.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Tannehill is the
They're in
fourth
Minnesota.
highest
Yeah.
quarterback rating. Yeah.
God, I called him a fraud before the year. What's wrong? I'm an idiot.
Can't win them all.
He only gets so many.
Can't win them all.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
Only
I
give
could
it
get my
somebody.
first pick of disappearing, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he doesn't like me.
He probably hates
He
your
didn't- he wouldn't
he
like
hates
me.
your stinking guts. Well, more of the qualifying for who hates you is lowered by he probably hates me. Well, that's enough.
so many people gone. Jesus.
We're gonna end early this week. We appreciate you joining us again on the podcast on the YouTube channel. Like I said, we got some. It's really good to get those live reactions that we have to offer on there. So go check that out. Go share it with a friend, share it with a neighbor, share it with a family member. Give us, but we ask that you continue to do so. Hopefully, we continue to make you laugh. But for Brian, Kitty, and the absent rants this week, Josh, saying ta-ta for now.
The day is done. Now the night has begun. Nerves in a restless crowd. The burning sun. Now nowhere to be found. Deep underground. 'Cause I have faith that nobody else can protect you, no. A page is burning, we'll all be dead under virgin snow. I have faith that nobody else can protect you, no. A page is burning, we'll all be dead under virgin snow. So hold your body close to the flames. Don't go so naughty, walking away. Hold your body close to the flames. So hold your body close to the flames. Don't go so body walking away. Hold your body close to the flames. Don't go somebody walking away. Hold your body close to the flame.